What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone for another daily news update where we are going to talk about, first off, Inzaghi pushing it again and doing everything besides blaming his own side, and kind of diminishing what Motta has been doing with even more issues than he had. Then we're going to talk about Sesko because apparently he's the main target now because Vlahovic is potentially on his way. And then we're going to wrap it up with a defender because we need a defender. And I'm convinced Sunday's game convinced every living soul on this planet who supports Juve that we need help in January 100%. So before we do that, as always, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about Inzaghi first. So first off, Inzaghi, post game, he had something to say, and what he had to say was kind of why I think Inter are struggling, and also kind of pulling away from what Motta was doing. We talked about we could have scored 6, 7, 8 goals, but he said we made too many defensive mistakes. At 4-2, we had 3 chances to score the 5th goal. Now, I think nobody would disagree with the fact that they had an opportunity to score that 5th goal, but to claim they had potential 7, 8 goals is insane, because for the saves Di Gregorio had made, all of them basically were from long range, outside of the box. I expect my goalkeeper to save them. I do. And with a level of goalkeeper of Di Gregorio, being an opposition coach, you cannot say those are real chances. Those are not chances. Those are shots on target. If you're playing a good goalkeeper, they're not chances. If you're playing a rubbish goalkeeper and he makes those saves, you're like, oh my god, these are chances, because usually they go in. But they didn't, because Di Gregorio is a good goalkeeper. That kind of diminished what we have been doing, and the media piled on that as well, in the morning and today as well, talking about, they were missing Çalhanoğlu, who was a key player for them. We play with, we didn't play with our full team. We're missing coal miners. We've been missing him for a couple of games. Gonzalez, we bought him, is out. Bremer is out for the season. We bring in Savona. We bring in Mbangula. These are the players we are bringing in into the pitch, and we're starting with players who, a lot of them have question marks, just playing together. Fagioli was suspended for the season, didn't play. The difficulties Motta is working on are difficult. I'm not saying I feel sorry for him, by the way, but the difficulties are expansional, or like big time, I probably messed that up, more difficult than what Inzaghi is dealing with. And to come out and kind of put that out there, and the media actually picking it up and saying, yeah, man, you should have lost, that was a kind of an off game as well, for the Inter, odd defensive errors. What did we do? Those 2 pens, were they not defensive errors? That corner goal, was that not a defensive error? It works both ways. If you want to protect Inter, to say that they made defensive error, then surely you need to talk about our team, Danilo, Kalulu, making the defensive errors. Or am I wrong? And on top of that, this is football. This is football. If you do not take your chance, and we have been on the other side of it, you know how it's gonna end. But to be 4-2 down and then being 4-2 up and still manage to kind of throw that game away is on them. Like, that's their issue. That's not our issue. We leave that game with a more positive feeling than Inter, as it should be. But to come out and say these things, and actually not really him, the media picking it up and saying, yeah, man, if it weren't for that, then this and this happened. You cannot do that. That's weird, and I doubt Inter fans will be perfectly happy with that as well. I don't think they will be happy with those comments, but that's their problem, I guess. I didn't like the media picking up and basically go alongside with it. Now, let's move on to the other part of the news, and that's Sesko. And I will start off with saying the source is rubbish. However, I'm going to talk about it because people were asking about it, and talking about Sesko, and it was a topic, and is it happening? Is he coming? So on. So the source, rubbish. That's it. However, the story is the story because of the Vlahovic situation. And that's basically the news story, saying that he could be leaving, you know, contract until 26. We know the wages, we know all the issues with the contract renewal. And they're looking at Sesko, like half of Europe is looking at Sesko, and he costs 65 million. That's a fee we can pay if Vlahovic is sold to the Premier League. That's basically the story. Now, at this moment in time, nothing of that is true. Vlahovic is not willing to leave right now. We're still hoping he can stay or to work it out, and the club is doing that. That is not said that it's set in stone and Vlahovic is gonna say. I think nobody will shock. I would not be shocked if Vlahovic will be sold at the end of the summer, at the end of the season. I will not be shocked. I will come on and will be like, yeah, could have happened, you know. So that would not be a shock to me. But to be in this situation with the news right now that it's like, yeah, it's actually on the board big time that we can move on from Vlahovic and buy Sesko, I'm gonna tell you that's not correct. Right now, that's not even happening. It could happen if the contract talks drag on. Giuntoli will push Vlahovic out of the door, and to be honest, it should be, because 26, like, it's just common sense. You need to move on. That's it. If you cannot sign a new deal, then in the summer you need to move on Vlahovic. But right now, I think both parties are willing to reach an agreement. That again doesn't mean they will reach an agreement. And yes, you need a backup plan. Sesko, if you like Sesko, fine, you like Sesko, I guess, you know, but you will have to compete with half of Europe of that on that as well. And also, right now, you cannot think about selling Vlahovic because it's not even November, or let's say it's November. Teams are not really looking to plan to buy a 60+ million striker for the summer. Like, that's things teams will think about deep, let's say in the second part of the season, when they will see, yeah, we have scoring issues here, we need to do something, and Vlahovic is the answer, for example, or Sesko is the answer. So right now it's fantasy market, but again, I wouldn't be shocked if Vlahovic doesn't end up leaving. It doesn't end up staying. That's 100% on the board as well. Now let's move on to the last part of the news, and that's the defender. Now, the name being linked lately is Ortis from Flamengo. I've not watched a single minute of this guy. I haven't. So I'm not gonna talk about he's good or he's bad, you know, because I don't know if he's good or if he's bad. What I do know is what we do need is a player who's ready-made or good enough to start with. You know, he has qualities I can use from the get-go, and it cannot be a player who's on the back end of his career. That cannot be the case. So I don't know if he's a good player. I don't know what he will offer. What I do know is I know what we need. We need somebody who's better than Danilo. We need somebody who has experience. Even if he's young, De Ligt had experience before he joined us. He was young, but he played a crazy amount of games, you know? That's the player we need. If you want to go young, fine, but they need to have some sort of experience. Otherwise, it will be messy. You know, we will throw in a player who is not ready, you know, we need to adapt to a new team, and so on, so on. If you cannot do that, like I said, then I'm okay with a 6-month loan deal to figure it out in the summer, but do not do stupid things. Do not commit to players you know are actually not good enough. You panic and you do that. I don't think the club is going to do that. I don't think we operate like that anymore. I think if they go for a player, that means they believe 100% that player is good enough. If they buy them outright, not a loan deal, I don't think they're going to buy a player knowing that, yeah, man, we just need somebody, but we have no other option and we need to buy him, so here we go. I don't think they're going to do that, but that definitely cannot be the case because we already have issues at the back line. We cannot create more issues. We need help. I think that's very obvious. What help that will be, we don't know. You know, there are so many rumors out there right now. It's difficult to kind of dissect what the club is actually going for right now, but it's very obvious we need help. Giuntoli admitted that we need help, and come on, you know, I think even Danilo knows he needs help, like, and the help is get me out of here and sit my ass on the bench and let somebody else do the work right here. So let's see how that will develop, but like I said, I don't know what it is. Maybe you guys know in the comments, you can let me know, but what I do know is we need somebody who can come in and do the job to a very decent extent and not need 7, 8, 10 games, because we don't have that time post-January. You need to come in and you need to adapt extremely quickly. So let me know in the comments what you think. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will speak to you soon.